With Pauline Stampin' Stampede. How are you? Today I'm going to show you another variation on the gatefold. So this is a gatefold. We've done the interlocking one, and this one I've actually done a die cut in the center of the gatefold. So I've also used a piece of the ribbon to make that into a belly band so that it actually holds the card shut, so that it doesn't fly around the joint. So that is our card for today. So I'm starting off with a piece of Sahara Sand A5 cardstock. And what you want to do is bring your trimmer in, and using your scoring tool, you're going to score at 5.2 centimeters or 2 5/8 of an inch. So do the scoring there. Then what you do, what I like to do when I'm actually folding over the card, is just make sure before you press it all down that you are even and lined up. So I make sure that I am lined up in all of these sections here and on the edges. That way then you do actually have a little bit of time just to manipulate that cardstock, but you should be good. All okay. The next thing I did was I used the Butterfly Brilliance dies for this. And what I have is, so when you get it, you get these outer the inside shapes of the butterfly. You also get a stamp set that is like this. I actually bought another stamp set just on its own so that I could cut the butterflies out and have them separately, so if I didn't want to use the big one. And I also cut my larger butterflies to get more use out of them as well. So I do have two sets of these, and what we will need is the die that coordinates with the butterfly. So I'll pop that to the side, and you'll need the stamp of the butterfly as well. You'll need a piece of you'll need a liner of very vanilla cardstock, and this is 10 centimeters by about 14.5 centimeters, and that is going to be the liner inside our card. And so that will actually get glued into here like so. But before I go ahead and glue anything down, what I did was getting a pencil and your dies and get a piece of washi tape. I lined up the dies on the center piece here, and I've just marked here and here, here and here. And then when I've gone over to the big shot, leaving my die attached, I can actually see where I need to cut. Then I remove that and do the same on the other side, putting the washi tape on this side of the cardstock. So it's now created this piece here. So you'll see how I've got two halves of my butterfly on either side of my Sahara Sand cardstock. What I then did was used my liner to position into place, and then close it up, and then I've marked roughly, just gently in pencil, where I need to stamp. Open it up, and using the soft suede ink, I've stamped in the center. Then that has created this part here. So now I have my butterfly on the inside. A variation of it is to actually not stamp the liner, but cut out another butterfly. So I've actually stamped the butterfly here on a scrap piece of very vanilla cardstock, and then I have fussy cut it out. Now I haven't used the dies because I need it to be so that it actually lifts, the butterfly can lift out of my dies, out of the outer line, out of the outer cut. Does that make sense? And then the next thing I did to create the belly band, I've used this ribbon. Now I have to order some more Whisper White ribbon because I'm nearly out. And what I did was I grabbed my soft suede blend, and using the brush end, just hold on to the edge of the Whisper White ribbon and just brush that along. It doesn't take very long to dry, and you also don't need to worry about the other side because it actually does come through. So I'm not getting any of that ink transferred now. It's actually pretty much dry now. And then you can keep going as much as you need on that. And then what I did was tied that in a knot and then in a bow to then create the belly band for my card. So just pop that onto there. And then you can go ahead and add your words. You can go ahead and add a sentiment, whatever you like on that. So they are the two cards there. And what I've also been working on is doing the same thing using the gingerbread and peppermint designer series paper. So the same process again, taking an A5 piece of cardstock, scoring both sides at 5.2 centimetres. I have a liner here which is 10 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres. And I have a piece of designer series paper. This designer series paper from the gingerbread and peppermint, I have actually cut that at 14, I think it was 14.5 or 14.25. No, 14.5 centimetres, just shy, so that's 5 centimetres here. Then what I did was, again, closing up the card, positioning my die, sticking a piece of washi tape down on it. Just mark, you can mark again with a pencil, just so you know exactly where you're going. Run that through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine or your Big Shot, whatever you have, and then do the other side. And what I've then done is, using the designer series paper as well, I've actually going to, I do have the stamps, so you can actually stamp out an image, but the advantage with the stamp set, Frosted Gingerbread, it actually has the outer images as well as the inside images. So if you want to, you can actually make a more delicate die for that, and you can also cut out the designer series paper as well with those dies. But if you take your designer series paper and cut around the outer edge, and then it gets raised up using a dimensional, and I would probably just take a fraction more off it, so just trimming a little bit more of that brown around there so that my element stands up. And then I'm going to use my mini ruffled ribbon to tie around to lock off my card. So that is today's live, another variation on our gatefold card. So I hope you like that. See ya!